Hello, this is a new series. I've tried multiple times to try to upload this particular game. It took a good few tries because it's an older game, and for whatever reason, OBS does not like this particular game at the moment. Probably for its age, it's closer to the 20 years. I need to double check when exactly it came out, but yeah, it's been one of my favorites anyway. This is Legend. It's a continuation of the Tomb Raider series. It's got Lara Croft and some of her friends, and actually a family member has got her mother as well. So yeah, I like this game for so many reasons, that lore being one of them. And I'm just today doing a voiceover from, just after the fact when I was playing, to do a chill walkthrough of the mansion. And I want to show you this particular mansion in this particular game because it's seen less, I find, than, of course, the classic one. The Tomb Raider 2 would probably be the most played one because it's so good with the agility course, and you get to go through the maze, and the maze task as well. It's really good. So yeah, so basically it's just a run through the whole of the mansion to, well, for most of what the mansion is in this game, because there's a lot more to it versus, say, the second one. Even the third one, the third one is really fun with when you get the quad and you go into the hedge maze to the quad. That's makes it even better than the second one, in my opinion. But I just prefer the layout the most in the second one. So even that is beaten in this game because there is, so much more to the house. And there's no time trial per se, but there's definitely activities to improve your gameplay before you even get into the game itself. And it's not until you get to the second level can you really do anything in the house, but it's definitely really good at training you up for what's to come. So yeah, the gym is included just like in the third one as well, and I think she does have a gym in the first one. Can't quite remember. I have really vague memories of it because I never fully played it. We just got the remaster of the first three, the OGs that came out in the 90s, and I'm just learning what basically we had. What we could have had, learning about what I could have had when we played the game. My sister and I played these games all the time, but it was actually my boyfriend and I that had bought the first three of the remasters that had just come out there now. So yeah, I'm just learning what the first one was like kind of through him, and I've heard things on and off about it through the years. But yeah, as you can see, you get your pistols even in this one. They're in Lara's bedroom. This is Lara's bedroom. There's even much more to the bedroom in this one as well. And yeah, you can collect the shields like you get to throughout the game as well. They're tokens, how you have the dragon secrets in the second one, and you can actually see the dragons in the remaster. It's much better, but in this one you can actually, of course, with the power of graphics evolving over the years, because this has, again, over 20 years on Tomb Raider 2 now, the original Tomb Raider 2. So there's no serious pixelation compared to the smoothness and sleekness that you see nowadays. It's kind of, old looking in a way, I'd say, to some, especially that prefer more realism. But yeah, for what it is, I've always enjoyed it. I'd say you could still smooth it out if you knew enough about graphics and had the patience. I just, particularly for this playthrough, did not. So that'll probably improve throughout the playthroughs. I've got through the
Are you
first
sure
level
those bullets
just so
won't
I could
bounce
do
off
this,
that
but
thing?
also
Premature
I
end to my
do
short
like the
and
first level as
promising
well, so I
life.
just want to get
Hollow points,
straight
Alistair.
into it.
They practically drop straight to
So
the floor.
to this point,
I did promise no repeats
you
of that earlier
have
incident, didn't I?
Laura and her mother, and they were traveling, and they were in a plane, and the plane crashed, and they both survived the plane crash, and they thought they were going to die, but they survived, and it ends up that Laura's mother disappears because she thinks Laura's going to be taken after Laura tries to steal an artifact. Foreshadowing. And she's a child and she's playing with this ancient artifact, and it starts going off and
You're
speaking
not
to
going
her,
outside,
so
are
her
you?
mother
Not when
senses
there
the
are still
danger
so many
and
interesting
basically goes
dark
into
places
limbo.
inside.
And the whole idea of this game is her trying to find where her mother was, what happened, who's to blame, if anybody. And yeah, that's as far as I'd probably want to take the lore at the moment, because there's a good bit to it with her friends and foes in it that's really good. There's a Tokyo level which is probably my favorite in the whole game. It's got a really difficult boss fight which I enjoy, and yeah, it's got plenty of Lara Croft lore throughout the whole thing. It really ties that in with who she is in the second one and who she is in this one. It's you definitely see that Laura and the Laura she is in this one come together at that point. That's probably why I enjoy it so much. And yeah, I just like you're in this basically the boss at that point, his house. Yeah. And yeah, so this reminds me of the third one where you get into the trophy room and everything that she's collected. Sorry, that's in Chronicles actually. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have Last Revelation, which is the fourth one. That would be technically the fifth one, and because it's the one where she's coming back from the dead because people were mad that she was killed off in Last Revelation, and I didn't realize for a long time that was the case. I thought it was simply just a way of closing off that story and she'd be back somehow in the next one. I only just found that out literally in the last few months. That was the intention, and then they quickly came out with Chronicles, because I played Chronicles before I played Last Revelation. I didn't understand this whole idea of oh, she's back from the dead and the house is all boxed up again like it was in the first one, because you're basically just getting a taster for this character in the first one, and then that becomes, oh, she actually died and her house is now all boxed up again because she died, and that we thought that was the end of like the Croft dynasty, but not to be, because the fans absolutely lost their minds. So this is actually itself, this is part of its own trilogy, in my opinion, this being the best one. And yeah, for the mansion, but for the story, for so many reasons. Yeah, but the other two are part of the story, and they are so different to each other in graphics, and the story kind of loses itself a little bit. There's a good few plot holes, which is disappointing because it sets itself up so well in this game, you know and you want to learn so much more, and it's kind of a letdown, but definitely not as much as, say, Angel of Darkness, where they wanted to just completely turn it around into something else entirely. Um, but there's parts of that that I like too. It's not a lost game, not as much as other parts in this trilogy. I will say that. So, but this being my favorite part anyway, because you get to see some of her friends and you believe that they're her friends. We've got Alistair here and we've got Zip in the office, and she talks to these two friends the whole time when she's on her adventures after she leaves this house, which is nice. This is Laura's library, and it's where Alistair works. He does all her research, and when she's traveling, he'll give her knowledgeable tips of what, this myth means, or this, system would mean if there's a trap ahead, maybe that she can avoid, and he can look at the ruins of something and tell her what sort of influences would have inspired them to set up like a security system so she doesn't, get herself killed or harm herself in these traps, and works her way around them like only Laura does. So, yeah. So at this point, I was just figuring out the task that was at hand. So there is a library task here. But I was on my way to looking for the swimming pool and accidentally ended up in the gym. So yeah, the gym is in, just avoiding it at this stage. But just a side note, the gym is much better than the one in the third one. As fun as the one in the third one is, and I do like how she'll talk to you as well, and she'll talk you through it. I do enjoy that, and yeah, so I think it's the gymnastics more than anything I enjoy, and just figuring out how to get these puzzles done, because there's actually puzzles all around the house as there would be in the game, so it really trains you up for later on. And there's me trying to figure out how to do swan dive. I haven't discovered yet, but I have discovered how to sprint swim, so that's going to be really helpful. I remember picking that up when I got this game for my boyfriend's PlayStation 3 during COVID, and I just wanted to figure out I enjoyed it anyway, more or less, but more so more, because the game is sentimental to me, and it's a bit janky on PlayStation, I won't lie, so I'm glad it was on Steam and I was able to go back to it. So it's on my Steam now. It's mine again on PC. It's come full circle. So yeah, and there you have another shield there. That's a bronze one for basically learning how to dive. It definitely rewards you for certain skills that you'd have to have picked up to play the game. If you missed a trick or two that popped up when you're playing the game, which would be helpful, like learning how to dive, things like that. So yeah, this place here is a whole puzzle. It's either in here or in the main house you get your grapple. That's where this ends up, basically. But you do get your grapple and you get your pistols. We've already got them from the bedroom. So the grapple you actually have to use quite a bit to figure out the puzzles, and the hardest puzzle is the one you have just before you get your grapple, which is what I end up on here. So even pulling things out, like, I thought that was really useful there. Like, it shows you that you have to pull items out in the game, and it rewards you with a shield, because when I played the second one, it was so long into the first level where you had to move something that we were stuck there, myself and my sister, because we love playing these games. We would literally get stuck there all the time. And we'd be like, oh yeah, this is why we stopped playing this game, and we left it for a long time at that first level, just at that part, because we had no idea where that was going to go. It's just you had this big cement block and no idea what to do. There's no such thing as walkthroughs back then, so it was just, oh, take it or leave it. So, and no brothers, just me and my sister. So we couldn't figure out how to do it. But yeah, eventually we got there, and many playthroughs later, and a few walkthroughs as well, so I can get all secrets, that sort of thing. So, because even now I'm trying to do the remaster, and some of the mechanics in that game are tricky, that you need to work around them, like when you're jumping and grabbing certain places and things like that, because it's obviously been given the look that it's given. It looks fantastic, it looks amazing, it looks fabulous. It's everything I wanted and more, you know, for the game to evolve. And it's much like this one, which I really enjoy, but it, you know, it was difficult still because of the mechanics of the game itself to get certain places. So, you know, as with so many games, walkthroughs are necessary, so never be ashamed of them. But yeah, so this is technically the first of a few puzzles in this place, but you need the grapple once you get past the first couple. So the first would be the lever that opens. It's the beginning of the first part where the lever opens the gate. Then the second gate has to be opened by the two women, and it gives you a hint what to do with the two women. Once you get another secret in the library, but we just have to open this first. So this is not what we do with the two women with the javelins. It's so we can access what's behind the crest here, but it's not actually the full task, because there's a few things we have to do with these women here. So we've got a switch here. And you see that opens the second gate, so you do actually need two switches, and the second one, it's a task to get in itself, but that's the first task in the Manor level, in the mansion level. Just me celebrating there. That is done. So tried to celebrate with a swan dive. Didn't technically work, but did a fun somersault anyway. So I wish I could do that. So that's why I did it. But anyway, yeah. So my next stop was, well, getting up first of all, but trying to figure out what was next, what was realistic without my grapple, because I was starting to miss it at this stage, looking across at that basket, because I knew I had to use my grapple to grab it, and once I grabbed it, just continue on to the next. So yeah, there we have a silver one for silver shield for completing that task. And there's actually wetness on the texture and I think the Lara model in this game on her clothes, and she's all shiny from, you know, swimming around in the water and wetness. There we do have another shield down there for, basically I like to think it's for beginning another task. So this is another one. This is another task here, the gym, which we can't actually complete without the grapple. So that dawned on me then as well. And I just had a bit of fun and then yeeted out of there. As you can see, there's more shields for going through this task, never mind completing it, because it does go on and there's layers to it. You need the grapple, but you also need to know how to work the basics of the game. So I think that's like a reward for that. So yeah, she's still drying off there. I just tried to make it look like I was drying her off and run around until I got bored. when you do have the grapple, it's very fun. It's very spindly and gymnastic. The climbing mechanics are much better in this one than any Tomb Raider I played as well. I do like how she looks back as well. It's much more realistic. Just the touches of realism is all I ask. Then they had, yeah, moments like that where, you know, as if you were somebody that was, you know, grabbing an edge. Realistically, you would grab it with one hand if you jumped too quick. I like that touch, it's just a bit annoying. So it's quite difficult. So this is like, what I like to think of as a throwback to the difficulty of, well, that was a glitch, getting that shield, but a helpful one, because it progresses the game in the stats, which is nice when you keep collecting shields. So it's nice when that's really super easy with a glitch. But the mechanics, so that required a walkthrough. That required me to go through a walkthrough, I remember, because she can't jump. And it's actually part of the task as well to go down there during when you have the grapple and everything. And it's not until you can completely do that task with all your equipment that you get to jump down there. So it was a bit much. So I was a bit cheeky there and just tried to see if I could pick up the shield, and the glitch helped me out. So there you go. So yeah, just messing around a bit more before I figure out my next move. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to do this as much as possible or go on to the next task. But as you can see, much more going on in the gym anyway. It's fun. It's fun. Once I have all my equipment, it's one of my favorite places to come back to in the game. And yeah, she breathes underwater quite realistically as well, like a human being. You know, she can't stay under that long. It's not like she has an oxygen tank or something. So you see that bar goes down quite quickly. So let me know if there's any problems with the video. It's looking quite janky as I edit, but if it is, apologies. It wasn't much better when I tried to record it through OBS, because again, with the age of this game, OBS, not its biggest fan. Any advice on that is welcome anytime. Yeah, still trying to figure out my next move. So starting another task now. Once I leave here, having tried to figure out how to do that with my pistols, which wasn't possible because I remembered shooting up the whole place before and it moved part of what should be going on there, but you're supposed to just keep pulling things to get full use out of the grapple, and then the grapple is actually out in the main room. The toughest task in the whole game,
Hello, Zip,
is actually getting the grapple in the first place. So you can actually open this and get your grapple, but you have to complete a side task, as tough as it is, gotta call it that, a side task upstairs first, without even going into any of the rooms. So all I'll say is I gave it a good go, but it's not as easy as it looks when it's timed. So those bars, those gold bars, have to come down as well with the grapple. and she keeps looking at things. That she have a nice shot there with her parents there above the mantelpiece, but she, as a model in the game, she'll look at things that, you know, she has to interact with as a hint, I guess, for you to see that, look, this is actually something that you have to interact with for part of a task. You don't always have what you can use to interact, so that can be difficult. I'm going to try this book task now. Again, more complicated than it looks because you have to be really.
I suppose there's no point in my offering
observational
to help you get what you need in a less
in this part of the
calamitous
game.
manner.
I didn't hear you offer in any manner at all, much less a calamitous
As much
one.
as it is about
But
the
thanks all
training,
the same.
Only as it needs
you
to
gotta
be.
have your eyes open, like you're driving around.
I asked Winston to
The
install
city.
a handle for you, but he didn't even offer the courtesy of a reply.
He probably thought it was a rhetorical question. I would have.
What do you think? This is just me processing how to exactly do this task. It looks like I'm doing absolutely nothing. She's like a sim, she'll never look you in the eye either. Which is quite fun. So this is on the way to the final task that I'm going to be doing for a while, and I give it a good go, I will tell you, because it's a time challenge, and it's literally just down one hall, down one flight of stairs, up one flight of stairs, down another hall, but because it's timed, it's a race, and yeah, she has to use her full gymnast abilities in order to do it. Otherwise, she won't do it. With no grapple, there's no chance that she is going to do it. Certainly looks like with the amount of times I have to do it, but at least you're rewarded, and I keep enjoying that. So even though it's on PC, as you can see, I do find the controls quite finicky at times. And I'm currently looking at an Xbox controller here in front of me. I'm threatening to use it other than the keyboard, because there's certain controls that I like using for Tomb Raider and can use anytime. But this game, for some reason, was just a couple of times switching back the controls to default. But the mouse has always been a bit sensitive in this game as well, so it could have been me using the mouse and not knowing it when I was in the control menu. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, she also has a light source, which I really enjoy, because if you played the original trilogy, you know it was all flares. you do have to charge it, but it charges pretty quickly once you put it away, which is good. And you only ever have it for the amount of time that's needed anyway. It never runs out when you're in a dark area. It's well done.
Within the Hall of Knowledge, tomes of cerulean, topaz, viridian and crimson in turn reveal their arcanum. Splendid.
So when I played this game originally, I just knew most of these colors. I just didn't know what viridian was. So it's actually a callback to the notes of Arthurian folklore that are in the game. I didn't know that because it was all, this room's kind of all sort of ancient Greek, ancient Rome themed. So that kind of, you know, it would stick out when you've completed the game or you've got toward the end, really close to the end, because that's when that comes out. But it's to sort of bring it full circle, so she comes back to her roots. This game's very family centered in the story, which is quite nice. Her friends are her family as well. She's, you know, one of those people, because yeah, basically her parents passed when she was young through no fault of her own. And the movies kind of delve into what happened to her dad. This trilogy kind of delves in what happened to her mum. It wasn't thrown together either. If you want to play the game, I'll let you piece together what happens. It's well done. Even took me a few times to get the task done in the third one, where you have to pull the book out of the fireplace to stop the fire and go up the chimney, and there's holsters for you to, you know, hold on to and go up the chimney. In the remaster you can't actually see that book that you pull out, so I have yet to figure that out, but I probably will stream that so you can see how that goes. I may need a walkthrough to help me, who knows, but yeah, basically it just means that I have to redo the task in a modern way with modern graphics. So yeah, I guess that's part of the fun of it being newer, but the game that it was, just with better graphics. So I actually enjoy that. It doesn't make it more complicated than it needs to be. It's just, it makes it more like this, actually, if anything. There you go. Yeah, so we got a silver shield for that one. But
Above
it
the
did
hearth,
basically give
revealed
you...
Viz in countenance, touched in haste, raise up the steward. What fun!
Sorry, just wanted that to speak there for a second. So it just basically does give you the information that you need, you know. I'll try to remember if there's any gold shields in this one. I'll let you know. I don't know, honestly. I just know they're hard to find in the game. From memory. Closest I got, there's Winston. Well, the closest I got was 98%. And you get a lot of costume changes and little extras in this game as well from collecting your gifts. So it actually is inspiring to do that, because in other games then I started actually collecting extras. I wasn't someone who usually did that, but this was the game that changed that because I got so much from actually doing it. It was rewarding, so yeah. You get character profiles as well, because I enjoy the characterization so much of this game. That means that, you know, I get to know more of the lore, and I really like that about this game. So so difficult. Just gonna let you see me throwing in some gymnastics and how much quicker it actually makes me after the amount of attempts that I give this just a normal way. Because it's like skipping to school. That was the only thing I could liken it to. And somehow it gets you there quicker. I did try jumping first. And this is where I wish the NPCs weren't NPCs. I know it takes the fun out of it, but if Winston could just do something downstairs, if he could like hold a button downstairs so that it would go on for longer or something. Just a little bit, just a little help, you know. Just to get you ready for what's to come. This is me figuring out a new strategy. Getting frustrated at this point, so I just was making sure I had all my controls in order so that I could continue and try something else. So here we go. plenty of time this way too. I'm doing my best, but I just have to leave it to the next video that I complete this, and I will most likely open the video completing this and then get into what it's like having the grapple in the Croft mansion, because it's a game changer here at Croft Manor. I do like how she puts these tasks into the house for herself. And then I just go a whole other direction because I have to know if the grapple is in here and not during that trial, because that trial is frustrating and I just need to work it off. Work it off. And then I just go back for more. So I am going to leave the video here. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. This was actually a great playthrough of at least first half of Croft Manor. So I hope you enjoyed it. I am going to upload this as almost a full stream. The full upload will be in my gaming streams also, because the intention is to have this uploaded as a live stream. But when I play this game and it's on live stream, there will be no audio, no voiceover usually, because I have to launch the game after I launch OBS. Otherwise the game does crash, because yeah, they don't work together. They just don't per se, but at least you can see the gameplay, and that's what matters to me, you know. So yeah, this isn't doing anything. You can't do this in the game, by the way, so don't try this. You do need the grapple for the second half of Croft Manor, let's put it like that. But it is fun. It is a great way to train for the rest of the game, so do it, and I recommend it highly for extras in the game. Particularly, I wouldn't even just come back to it. I would play through the first game, just first level, just so you can get to, you know, I would play through the first level just so you can get to explore the house, because you have to do that in order to explore the house. It encourages you to play the game, which I like too, because then you know a bit more and you can move a bit faster when you get to the house as well, and want to be challenged maybe a little more, so it's nice. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed, and this will be in my gaming streams playlist as well as my